here at the lake house for Bachelorette weekend. This is day 2. Day 1 was super fun. And none of us are hurting too bad this morning. So here we go, out on the boat again. I'm gonna see if I can't get some more wakeboarding footage.
I got that, but I jumped so high that I don't know. Babe. My video. Everyone. Say hi or just be weird in it. There you go. So I just wanted to catch you up on kind of the wrap up of my mini Bachelorette prep, and I am back now in Portland. So it's been at least a week since I took my last progress video. I'll take another one probably this coming weekend. It's taking a little bit for my body to kind of get back to normal. I shouldn't say that, I was back to a normal weight. In terms of like losing water weight, but like I am so sore and I've been sleeping way past my alarm in the mornings, like that kind of thing. I'm just pretty exhausted from like a super full week and getting a lot less sleep than I usually do. So worth it because we had a ton of fun, and especially at our Bachelorette parties, and my bridal shower was absolutely beautiful. And we just had a great time. We saw a lot of family and friends. I got to see my little nephew, and anyway, it was a great time. But I did want to go over just like the actual statistical results of my prep. A little bit of like what the cut numbers were, what my weight was, what my different stats were, that sort of a thing. I pretty diligently track my macros. As you can see, like I take notes Monday through Friday on what my workouts were. And I have that in a different place as well, like to track my workouts, but just on the same sheet as what my macros are. And I put, you know, what week it is at the top, Bachelorette prep, and I put what week, etc. I send something similar, you know, to my clients for their macro spreads, and so I essentially just use the same thing. And I am someone who likes to have things in my hand and like write notes down, so I end up printing them off. But this is essentially what I do when I'm doing something that requires changes from week to week like this, or like a reverse diet. Also, I'm sorry, my voice is still kind of recovering from this week, so it will come back eventually. But for now, it's a little low. So, starting on the 20th of June, I started this prep. I kept a few drinking days in, meaning like I could still have a glass of wine with dinner or whatever after dinner at night. First week was 3 drinking days, and by the last week I had 1. So that was kind of the cut on that front. And when I say drinking days, like not like getting drunk days, this is literally like having a glass of wine, you know? But so that was that change. My total cardio went up by 10 minutes a week over 3 weeks, so nothing crazy. And that was, like I said, that took 3 weeks for it to go up 10 minutes. So, you know, incrementally increased. More like I would add a minute to the end of my session versus like going and knowing that I was going to have a longer session that day. My weight went from 137.4 on June 20th to, hold on, it's in my phone, this one. I think these are out of order too. Okay, on the 8th, it was 134.6, which is the lowest it was all of prep. But that was after multiple low carb days, because I make notes in here as well, like, I don't know if you can see, anyway, you can't see. But it says, yeah, after multiple low days, I was at 134.6. Today I'm at 135.4, which is a little bit more normal. And oh, here we go. So the 8th I was at 134.6. 2 days later, 135.6, and then one day after that, 135.2. So as you can see, it changes quite a bit. That's what happens. Like, your body fluctuates. Especially when you're not controlling anything like sodium or whatever, like, which I was not. So I would say my actual more realistic end weight was 135.2. That was the day before we left for the trip. And then, like I said, I'm at 135.4 today, which is 0.2 pounds up, which is nothing. Some people might be like, you just went on a trip and drank and ate and whatever, like, how are you still the same weight that you ended your prep on? I personally, when I'm traveling, don't eat enough. Like that, some people like eat way, like a ton and whatever. And there were some nights, don't get me wrong, that I had like more than I usually do in one sitting or something. But generally, I don't eat as much as I do when I'm like at home more and able to prep my meals more, if that makes sense. So like one day for lunch, I had a protein bar, which is way less than I usually eat for lunch. Things like that. Also, I was still being active, but not necessarily working out a lot while I was there. I did wakeboard for like a chunk of time, I don't know, like 5-6 minutes or something, which people who haven't wakeboarded or done water sports where you have to stand may not think that that's a lot of time, but like 3 minutes at a time for wakeboarding can kind of kill your legs, especially if you've had like, you know, a drink before that or something. So I was active or exercising while I was on the trip. I think I only had one like total rest day. So, you know, that helped as well. I tried to stay good with my water, but to be honest, I'm sure I was under what I usually do. So, and then like I said, yesterday I kind of got back to normal. I've been giving myself rest days this week though. So we got back on really late Tuesday night, and that was technically a rest day. Oh no, it wasn't. Oh my God, I worked out that day. So we got back really late Tuesday night. Yesterday, Wednesday, was a rest day, total rest day. Today is also a total rest day. And then tomorrow I might hit something, but it's gonna honestly depend on how I feel, because I know that I can run my body down like crazy if I work out too soon when I'm already exhausted. So that is why I have been, okay, you guys, I'm sitting on an ottoman that's like soft, and it's slowly sinking me down because it's a cushion. So I'm sorry about that. Anyway, long story short, I was still pretty active. I didn't eat probably as much as I usually do on average day to day. Yeah, I was drinking, but it's not like I was having 10 beers or something. You know, I might have had like maybe on average, probably after you average out the bachelorette party nights and everything, on average maybe 2 drinks per day, which is more than normal for me, but still like not crazy. So yeah, all in all, I came back at the same weight that I left with, which I wasn't necessarily expecting, but I'm also not that surprised about. I guess I'll just put it that way. So I'm still at my end of prep weight, which I'm like not mad about, especially with like giving myself all these rest days. Like I said, I went, so what is that? I went down a little over 2 pounds and barely increased my cardio and had just a really great time. I will say though that when I say like I went down 2 pounds, that progress was not linear. And I want to make another video about this, but just an FYI, I went up and down probably every single day. There were maybe a few days where it like consistently went down or consistently stayed the same. But over that 3 weeks, I know for a fact that if you were to look at a chart of my data, it would be more something like that, because it's not, very rarely do you ever have a 3-week span, for example, because that's what I did, where every single time you weigh yourself or every single time you measure yourself, oh, I'll hit my measurements next, but every single time you weigh or measure yourself, it goes down by the same increment that it went down the day before and the day before and the day before. That's just not how the human body works. We have fluctuations. I mean, especially females, like we have different hormones than men. I mean, like, do not stress if things are like not going in a straight line. If your data is not perfect and pretty, it shouldn't be, because that's not real life. So speaking of my measurements, I'll go through that as well because that's kind of the last stat that I did. I never took body fat, like caliper measurements or anything during this prep. I kind of intended to, and then just was like, it's, you know what, not that important to me. But I am kind of curious about it, so I'll probably do that soon. So measurements, let's see, I started at a 26 waist, went down to about a 25.3, 25.25. So that went down a little over half an inch. My hip measurement went down a quarter of an inch, so like nothing. My quads, which is the middle of your thigh, the middle of your quad, the direct middle is that measurement. That went down a half an inch. And then my high thigh, I call it, which is, you know, up here. this will be weird. Right here, high thigh. This kind of, women who are not like shredded lean generally have a high thigh, like where it goes. This is gonna sound bad no matter how I explain it. But anyway, high thigh measurement. Mine, for example, is larger than my quad measurement because that's just how my body is shaped. I know a lot of women have something similar. It's not like incredibly larger, but you know, it's a difference. So I tend to measure both of those two things because they will lose fat at different rates or get bigger at different rates, etc. And I know my body, and that's one of those measurements that aren't the same. So my high thigh went down a half an inch also. So they both went down the same amount over 3 weeks. I can say that it was pretty consistent, you know, week to week they went down about the same amount, but that might not always be the same, or if it were 6 weeks versus 3 weeks, that might start to change the ratio and etc. So I took those measurements. So yes, every single one of my measurements went down over these 3 weeks. My waist went down, is that right? Yeah, my waist went down the most, which that's pretty accurate, I would say, because I was still working my legs out and not doing like a ton of cardio where my legs would have just like shrunken down. My hips went down the least, so also I would say pretty accurate. When you've spent a lot of time building up your glutes and over the years, you're not gonna just like lose them overnight. And the places where I held more body fat, like the high thigh measurement, like I explained, you know, went down a moderate amount, and you know, also pretty normal. This is all, I feel like I'm talking about it like it's kind of like not interesting. It's very interesting to me, but I'm pretty pleased that it was pretty predictable, if that makes sense. So like I predicted that this kind of change would happen in my measurements. I did not want to go down like a ton in 3 weeks. I just wanted to tighten up, like I said, you know, get rid of some water weight if I was holding it, that kind of thing. But it was nothing crazy. So I'm pretty happy with these results. Lost a few inches, and I'm still at that measurement now, which just goes to show that if you don't take dramatic finger wave, but just goes to show that if you do not take dramatic measures to lose fat, lose weight, you know, prep for something, that your body will respond better afterwards. I was drinking and eating pizza, and I think I had probably 5 burgers in like 7 days, seriously. It's not like I was eating well, you know, I mean, sometimes, but some meals, but for the most part, not really. I mean, I was just eating what I wanted. Not a macro was tracked, that kind of a thing. You know, I had cupcakes, multiple cupcakes, because they were mine. People got them for me, for my shower. You know, I don't want to miss out on things. But I also like made sure that I wasn't being crazy, like crazy one way when I was prepping, crazy this way, and binging on food. And you're kind of moderate in both of those things, your body will respond better because it's not being thrown for these crazy extremes. So, you know, taking 3 weeks to barely lose 2 pounds, half of which was probably water weight, you know, your body's not like already on the, like kind of trying to hold on to everything, especially if you're not restricting the food groups you're giving it. So then when I went out and I ate and I drank and whatever I wanted to, then I came back and what do you know, I'm the same weight and the same measurements. Exactly. And I haven't been working out consistently. So your body will thank you. sounds like I'm talking about the same thing over and over, but I'm so passionate about making sure that people know that you do not have to go to crazy extremes to make your body do what you want it to. And everything in your life shouldn't be about making your body look a certain way, but you know, if you have a goal, you can attain it through being flexible with your diet, through being moderate with your cardio, through, you know, healthy measures. It doesn't have to be extremes, I promise. I am proof. I still have abs and I just ate and drank kind of not great for 9 or 10 days. And, you know, and it's not all about abs, but just as an example of things that people consider lean, I went off my diet. I went off my everything that was normal to me, and my body knew, like, chill fam, we're gonna be fine, because she knows what she's doing, because she doesn't constantly kill us. So that's us, like my little cells talking to me. Anyway, this has gotten kind of off onto a rant, but if you guys have any questions about this prep, about the way I go about things, about what I'm doing afterwards now, please comment them. I'm gonna be making a few more videos, like I said, about kind of the stats and progress and things like that. Not specifically my stats, but just in general, people have had some questions. If you have any questions, I mean, if you just have any questions about how the weekend went, or like what kind of drinks I like, I mean, you know what, whatever. I'm down and I'm open, so so comment those below, and click the subscribe button if you haven't. Give this a thumbs up if you liked progress check-ins and you like hearing stuff about me not being such a fitspo all the time. And I will talk to you guys soon. Thanks, guys.